My name is Michael Haggerty, and I'm here to talk to you about the cultural issues of infrastructure. My candidate number is 0040. What is infrastructure? Well, it's the basic physical and organizational structures and facilities needed for the operation of a society or enterprise. For example, buildings, roads, and power stations. Around the world, the way infrastructure is instated differs based on country or region. This is due to the cultural differences across the globe. These cultures are in turn affected by infrastructure. Often the small town, local areas are the first to experience the effect that this new infrastructure has. At first glance, infrastructure seems to bring only benefits to the areas that it has adopted it. But there is an undesired side effect to these culture-rich areas where they seemingly sacrifice parts of their culture to put new infrastructure in place, whether it's tearing down historical buildings to widen roads or popping up large franchises that will quickly monopolize the area. While these bring economic and financial benefits, they will lose that flair unique to the area, making infrastructure a necessary evil to the modern world. Next, we're going to talk about location and where this issue is occurring. This issue primarily occurs in first world countries. This is because of the modern society and strong economies that drive the country's need for better and more infrastructure. The most common example of what modern infrastructure should look like is the United States. This is for its ability to function efficiently and effectively. If you look at other countries, such as the UK or Japan, you will see similarities to the US's infrastructure, but they still have their own culture woven in, but not nearly as visible as before development and infrastructure. Cause analysis. What is culture? Culture can be defined as customs, arts, social institutions, and achievements of a particular nation, people, or other social group. So why is this important for countries and towns to hold their culture? The answer is more of a question of, do they believe that their culture should be preserved? If not, then attempting to would be pointless. But for the communities that are grasping to their traditions, how can they educate the rest of the communities on the importance of their history and culture and work together to speak out and defend their culture and tradition? Locally, you can look at downtown Cornelius, where developers are fighting over what they consider prime real estate. And with very limited space, buildings of historical importance are getting condemned and demolished. They're being replaced by apartments, community centers, and large franchises. If this continues, historical Cornelius and its culture will surely be lost. Possible solutions. Some possible solutions include better protecting buildings of historical and cultural importance from being destroyed by developers and contractors that are more concerned with a quick buck than preserving local culture. Plan infrastructure to enhance and support rather than destroy areas of cultural significance. Have them complement each other. Put policies in place to prevent monopolies from taking control of historic districts. These monopolies will kill small mom-and-pop businesses by taking away their customers and creating unfair competition. Take initiative. To take initiative, communities gather to decide what is absolutely necessary to the livelihood of the area and what is just big corporations and contractors looking for a quick buck. Once this is decided, plans for developing the infrastructure can be made. This would, in theory, preserve land, buildings, and businesses of historic and cultural value. Small business owners could reach out to local communities and governments about protecting their business and livelihood by preventing certain infrastructure plans that could hurt their business and cause them to close down. In conclusion, infrastructure is something of a necessary evil in the modern world, and since we can't just stop using infrastructure, communities should work to improve the way that infrastructure is put in place. They can do this by getting their community more involved in the planning of infrastructure for areas of historical and cultural importance. Thank you. That is the cultural issues of infrastructure.